Now, events in America have been equally, if not even more, dramatic than what we've seen here in this country, in Westminster, and indeed, of course, in Scotland, which we'll come to in a moment. President Trump is now facing an indictment in a Florida courtroom tomorrow. There are a total of 37 charges. Most of them come under the Espionage Act, which I find totally extraordinary. I don't think you could ever meet anybody, whatever his faults, whatever you think of him, you couldn't meet anybody more patriotic than Donald Trump. But he faces a huge prison sentence if found guilty. Well, Congressman Andy Ogles, who is from Nashville and is a member of the House Freedom Caucus, he's from Tennessee, he comes from the 5th Congressional District, and he joins me down the line now. Andy, I know you've got a bit of a plan to push back against Biden, but just to begin, this is the first time that a former American president has ever faced anything like this. And I know that with Hillary Clinton, there was the laptop and a whole load of confidential information that went missing. There were seriously important documents found in President Biden's home. What is it about Trump's so-called crimes that are different to those two?
Well, no, you make some great points, and thank you for having me. This is clearly political persecution. I mean, a president has never faced this type of indictment. And really, when you look at, Tom Fitton's Judicial Watch, he's done a brief on this indictment. It really doesn't hold up to what you would consider judicial muster. So it should be thrown out on its merits. I do think that they'll press to have it go to court. We'll see. Time will tell. But at the end of the day, this is a persecution of a president that the Democratic Party, the left, is terrified of. He is going to win the the Republican primary. And quite frankly, I predict that he'll be the next president of the United States. And this is why they're trying so aggressively to stop him. Never mind the fact that the Biden family, we've now uncovered the bank account where they were accepting money payments from foreign countries. Never mind the fact that when Biden was vice president, he threatened to hold up $1 billion in foreign aid in order to get someone fired from office. I mean, you have a long history of corruption within the Biden family. I would argue it's a criminal enterprise, but nothing's happening to the Bidens. Nothing's happening to the Clintons. And I'll be honest with you, I would be appalled if the Republicans were doing this to any Democratic president if it didn't have some sort of criminal merit to it. This case is nothing more than political persecution, and all those involved should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, it could be, though. It could be. Is it possible, Andy, that he has made some mistakes? Is it possible that he has taken some documents that should not have been at his private residences?
Well, as you said earlier, they found documents in Biden's garage, an unsecured garage. They found documents with Mike Pence, a good man who would have never intended, quite frankly, to break the law. And so this idea that the president, who had some documents in a secured facility, by the way, there's cameras, there's security, there's Secret Service on this premises. I mean, it's quite frankly a lockdown environment. This again rises to not criminal, but persecution by a woke Justice Department. And look, I think this is a scary moment in American history that you have retribution being paid to a former elected official.
It's clearly,
this never worked in Rome. It didn't work in Britain. It's not going to work in America.
It's pretty vicious. As I'm talking to you, Andy Ogles, we're showing some pictures of Florida. Some of his fans out on the street awaiting his arrival. And you're going to have a go yourself, Andy, at launching impeachment articles against President Biden.
Well, absolutely. So on merit, I've introduced just a few moments ago articles of impeachment against Biden and Vice President Harris. In both cases, they're for good reason and should be adjudicated as such. This is not political retribution. But that being said, we are sending a message. I am sending a message that, look, if you're going to go after someone who's in office, you better be sure that the grounds, the case, the basis, the merit of your argument is sound and not a bunch of documents that were in, boxes in a secured facility, right?
Andy Ogles, thanks for joining me. The divisions in American politics as big as they have ever been. Thank you.